Bed and Breakfast is about a couple, Brett and Drew, who are living in Toronto, and after Brett's aunt tragically passes away suddenly, she leaves him her house, which is in a small town outside of the city. They first go just to clean out the house and put it up on the market, and then shortly thereafter decide that they might try running it as a bed and breakfast. Once they move to town, obviously the realities of running that business and the realities of living in a small town sort of hit them in the face in a way that is sometimes frustrating and sometimes totally delightful. For the audience, what they get is the experience of watching these two actors try to tell that story with 21 different voices.
I've actually been to Winnipeg once before, did the Drowsy Chaperone at the Manitoba Theatre Centre, which is actually where I met my husband. So Winnipeg has a special place in my heart, so it's really fun to be back. The in-between time was full, but lovely.
This is my third time in Winnipeg. The first two times I was here was both to do different productions of the same show called Come From Away. I know.
Sorry, were you?
I was in Come From Away. They never let me forget it. Very happy to be in Winnipeg again. It's one of my favorite places that I've been to. Some of the best escape rooms I've ever done. Just putting it out there. So
I love Winnipeg, the bits of it that I've been to thus far. I've been lucky enough to go to the Museum of Human Rights a couple of times. Yesterday, Kyle and I went. There's such cultural activity, such a huge amount of cultural activity for a community of this size. I'm thrilled to be able to bring something that I think is really special to audiences who have lots of context and are going to be able to experience it in their own way.
Okay, well, let's start with the fact that I would not be hosting. I would just be visiting.
Same.
Absolutely.
Yeah. No interest in
not.
anywhere.
Why am I cooking for someone else?
Literally. I don't even like to cook for myself.
No.
Lake, forestry, nature, that kind of vibe, as opposed to like city or like Main Street stretch of a town. When I picture a bed and breakfast, I'm picturing very like floral, very like sort of four-poster bed, but with the nice little like pink ivory floral bedding. I'm picturing a pot of tea. I'm picturing... I was in Come From Away. Why do I have to do this?
I think if I had to pick one, I would also be near a lake in the country kind of thing. If I were picking it, like I guess if I'm thinking like what would be really fun, I would go to a Doctor Who themed bed and breakfast. The door is a TARDIS. Everything is somehow, my husband would hate this, and that's why I chose it. It's like all sorts of memorabilia, but the menu would be like traditional. I think I would have like a nice salmon, eggs Benedict for breakfast, which is probably a bit much to ask of someone, but that's what that would be the dream, and really good coffee.
I'm calling your husband right now.
Yes,
Tell him that's your choice.
He knows inside right.
I think I'm also very much lake, water, woods, no internet, as far away from things as possible. I read a lot, and so like I would want a place where you can actually sort of sit in quiet nature, etc., and experience a world. In terms of the actual bed and breakfast itself, kitschy, vintage, cabin, records, taxidermy.
Okay.
I did not have.
I was so with you.
Yeah.
And then want to
Well,
park.
Anything but like potato forward for sure.
Great. So what you have here is floral and ivory linen, a TARDIS door, Doctor Who, and then dusty taxidermy. Really, aren't you happy you asked this question?
We've just given you a business plan, so you're welcome.